Hello there guys, a very warm welcome to Joe's Bus Train Plane Lift Adventures here on YouTube, and welcome to a special virtual journey of a service which is up in Stoke-on-Trent, Hanley, and this is actually a no number service, but instead this is the Kingfisher from Hanley to Uttoxeter, operated by the main operator, First Potteries. And the main fleet is a Wright Gemini. As you know, I do like Gemini buses, best favourite double-decker buses, and of course, so we are now going to be doing the Kingfisher from Hanley in Stoke-on-Trent to Uttoxeter, and I just hope that you enjoy the journey. So we are just leaving Hanley and we are passing an Asda local supermarket. Now, as you know, Asda's starting to open smaller sized supermarkets these days since they bought the Netto out. It's becoming more like a Co-op, a Sainsbury's Local, and even a Tesco Express. And even the old Summerfields, if you remember Summerfields back in the day. So here we are, just leaving Stoke towards Uttoxeter. And we're going down the Ashbank Road. It's really interesting to see a service. It is really interesting to see a service, Kingfisher to Uttoxeter. Like I say, I've been through Uttoxeter loads of times. If you know Alton Towers, which is not far. Because as you know, I'm a big fan of Alton Towers. Unfortunately, due to the COVID pandemic, I can't do Alton Towers because we don't know how safe it is to go on rides because you don't know what's going on. But like I say, Alton Towers is possibly going to be back on the map for next year, 2022. The same will go with all the other stuff that's been impacted by the COVID pandemic. Like we saw the loss of Orlando, we saw the loss of all the other trips that I've done as well. That was brilliant, and I was looking forward to, like, trip down to Dorset, even a trip to Manchester. Like, couldn't do Manchester because of what was going on, but hopefully they'll all return for 2022. It's like I was going to do a trip to Burton and I was going to do a trip on this Kingfisher. But however, the COVID pandemic just wouldn't allow me to do it. But however, I am starting to get back. I am starting to do more routes. So we will be continuing with series number 7 up until the end. Up until mid-October, because we're due to end the 7th series through to mid-October, and then we will be we'll be beginning a brand new series, which will be series 8, which will commence from next month, which will be from mid-October up until the end of November, and then when November ends, we'll then head to mid-Jan, and then we'll do series 9, which will take us all the way towards the end of 2021, and then we'll start series number 10 in January, which will be the 1st of Jan. And however, it has been a bit of a shaky start to the year because of the COVID pandemic and also the lockdown that we had. the third lockdown, which we're hoping would be the last. And of course, the tier 4 was always was really annoying as well. So we had tier 4. We were in tier 4 where everything had to completely shut down altogether. It was one of the worst ones. So anyway, back to the route. We're now in Kingsley. Now, so this is Kingsley. And we're just going past the farmyard. So we're now in the beauty of the countrysides. And we're on our way through Kingsley Holt. Now, as you know, I love Kingsley. Well, never been through Kingsley before. And we're now going to head down towards Cheadle. And like I say, I do love towns. I love cities. And I love countrysides. But the countrysides are more ideal and practical for me because like it's easier for me because anyway, we're now in the beauty of the countryside, a bit similar to the rabbit run. We have seen a few one-armed telegraph poles on this corridor. They might see an ordinary version later on, but the one-armed telegraph poles have like a gadget on top of it. Like there's one down Kimber as well in South Staffordshire, and there's some down Swanage and some down south. So we're in Woodhead. So this is Woodhead, Cheadle, if you know Cheadle. If you know Cheadle Hume. I like Cheadle Hume. I've heard of, well, just Cheadle. Because as you know, I've been through Cheadle before, which is close to Alton Towers. So here we are in Cheadle. So anyway, this is Cheadle Town Centre. I might be familiar with this place since I usually come through here to go towards Alton Towers. And it's a beautiful town. Of course, there's a WH Smith here, but that one is now closing, like all the local WH Smith shops. So it looks more like a design of an older Woolworths building. So we've just toured Cheadle, and we're now going to head. Can't believe they're closing a few WH Smith shops, local ones, because basically they're all heading for the big towns, with the likes of Telford and even Hanley, if you've been to Hanley. So now heading out of Hanley right now, and so we're now heading into the woods. So we're now heading in and out the woods. So this is the Kingfisher run that we're doing now. The KF. So we're now in Teen, if you know Teen in So this is Upper T, and now we come to Upper Teen. So we're now in Lower Teen, if you know Lower Teen. So we've got Teen, Upper Teen, Lower Teen. So we're now going along the Uttoxeter road, and we're now coming towards Uttoxeter. And Uttoxeter coming up, you've got connections to various different destinations across the Midlands. You've got loads of different destinations to choose from at Uttoxeter. You've got Stafford, you've got Burton, you've got Derby. And I will be doing some virtual trips around Derby and even in Stafford on the next trip, and even trips around Shrew, and even a trip down to Burton. As you know, I do like Burton. Well, I've never been to Burton just yet. Couldn't go to Burton because of the coronavirus, because of all this COVID mess that we had to go through. But like we say, we are coming out of the mess because of everything seeming to work, and we're hoping that everything will work and we will get out of this terrible mess that we all had to face since 2020. So here we are in Stromsall. So this is Stromsall, and as you know, a lot of little narrow lanes. It's a bit of a similar feel to the 291, the Tenbury service operated by Yarrington's, if you know Yarrington's, because I have been on Yarrington's buses, and they're brilliant buses to ride. You got Yarrington's, you got Diamond, you got Yarrington's, Diamond, you have Yarrington's, Diamond that do a lot of narrow lanes, of course. Most Nash Express love the country round end, but usually you have to find them at Wolverhampton, Perrybar and Walsall. So we're now in a place called Spaff, and Spaff, for example, is actually a small location. Of course, there used to be a small outstation for one of the biggest bus operators of all time, Arriva Midlands, because Arriva used to have a base in Spaff. If you remember, Arriva used to operate in Spaff, and so we're now gone through Spaff, and we're now arriving at Uttoxeter, the terminus for the Kingfisher from Hanley in Stoke-on-Trent, and we're now arriving at the Uttoxeter bus station. So this is Uttoxeter, and our journey is now completed.